Alright my friends, it's time for another video on the JasonBlaha, the Strength and Fitness channel, man. Yeah. So we're gonna do a reaction video to our good bumbucklot friend here, JasonBlaha, the gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness gear slave himself, man. So Blaha says dairy is a superfood for athletes. Well, I'm gonna have to agree with that in this video. Yes, I'm reacting.
Dairy is a superfood for lifters and athletes. Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here.
Yeah, it's a superfood for athletes. And what are athletes? Endurance. What's their training based on? Endurance. It's endurance training. Does endurance build muscle? Absolutely not. If you're an endurance lifter in the gym, like Blaha, concentric lifting is associated with endurance, because it's associated with performance, and anything that is associated with performance is associated with endurance. So is milk a superfood? Does it have electrolytes and a bunch of stuff? Yeah, raw milk does. Our raw milk has everything. But if you're drinking pasteurized, it's synthetic, because they're adding these vitamins or whatever these things are. They're adding them back in there synthetically, and they also add sugar in there. That's why on some of the milk cartons, they have to tell you no sugar added. Why do they have to tell you that? Because they add sugar.
We chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. You know, because a lot of these...
Will sugar compromise your performance as a young person? No. As an adult, probably yes, I would say. But as a young person, it's a drug. So yeah, sugar's a drug, dude.
You know, I make these videos talking about,
Look, let's just put it this way. All plants are drugs, and all drugs are made from plants. So to humans, which are carnivore animals, these plants are drugs to humans. They make you work. They make you work hard like a slave. That's why they feed you the slave food diet, because they want you to work. They want to squeeze blood out of a stone. Get it, dude?
Certain dietary approaches that are a problem. And instead, I think today, let's focus on the positive and that.
But it's a bad energy source. It'll fucking destroy you from the inside out eventually. It'll rust you out. Anyways, let's continue with this video.
That is the wide variety of benefits of dairy. And when I say that, I'm generally talking about whole dairy, you know, or even fat-free dairy, whether it's skim milk, even whole milks. I mean, really, it's a question of how much calories you're trying to load, how much fat you want in your diet, picking between the two. I think they both have their place. This would also include yogurts and things like that.
Milk is high in saturated fat. Isn't Blaha against saturated fat? Man, I love saturated fat. The more of it I get, the better I feel, bro.
Right. Again, that's its own set of benefits, though, right? We get into some of the cultured dairy, and now we're getting into a whole separate set of extra health benefits. But when we step back and we look at dairy, I think it's the things that we have to think about are the studies and stuff we've seen on this over the years, like the hydration studies. A lot of people are unaware of that, but there were studies found post-exercise that literally compared all these sports drinks, these hydration drinks, with milk. Regular plain milk, assuming you weren't lactose intolerant. And guess what?
There's no such thing as lactose intolerant. The problem is you have a gut problem. That's your problem. You're not lactose intolerant. You have a leaky gut because you can't stop eating the slave food diet like Harvest Crunch or whatever. Oats, you're eating oats and cereals, and these things, they, with the combination over time with the milk and the cereal and fiber and everything, it causes a leaky gut. So you get that problem, lactose intolerant. It could happen when you're young, it could happen when you're old or whatever, bro. But that's usually the problem. Because I had that problem when I ate the slave food diet. And once I cut it out completely, I could literally drink down 2 liters of milk, and I don't have diarrhea, I don't have lactose intolerance, I don't have bloating, I don't have anything from milk. So it's not milk that was causing it. It was the combination between milk and the leaky gut, and caused by the late slave food diet. Once the slave food diet was cut out and the gut healed, I don't have any problems. Could drink any kind of milk. No, there's no problems. There's nothing. There's no problems.
Milk literally outperforms A lot of these hydration drinks are the ones they tested. These post-workout recovery and hydration drinks, electrolyte drinks, milk.
Yes, I'll agree with Blaha on that point. They do. They outperform these so-called energy or whatever drinks they're selling there. Milk outperforms them. Of course it does. It'll always do that. Want to know why? Because it's natural, bro. It's an animal product. You're trying to compare something to fucking plants, made from plants. That's an animal product for carnivores. As a carnivore, it's always going to be the best for you.
Beats it for hydration, rehydrating muscle tissue and rehydrating.
Not just hydration. The mineral, the nutrient content in milk is the best for you. It's got everything in there, electrolytes, you name it.
You after intense exercise, and that's fascinating, truly fascinating.
Why? There's nothing that milk does not have. It's used for building up animals when they're a child, when they're small. They drink their mom's milk. Everything is in there. The hormones, the nutrients, everything. Milk is like the equivalent of drinking an animal's blood. And if you don't want to drink animal's blood, you drink milk. There you go. But preferably raw milk.
A lot of it has to do with the fact that it's the carbohydrates in it, obviously, the fluid content, with the large amount of electrolyte content, right? The calcium, the magnesium, the potassium, to some extent the sodium. Sodium's not that high in milk. Hey, this stuff is kind of a big deal. I mean, this is hydration. So again, we're talking about recovery from exercise. Hydration is a big part of it. Hydration is an enormous part.
See, you guys have to recover from your endurance exercising. You have to recover. Me, I don't recover. I don't exercise. I build muscle. That's what I do. I build my body, build muscle. I don't do any of that. But yeah, anyways, whatever.
Okay, we get this from milk. All right, same thing when we talk about insulin response from milk. Very positive, healthy, pronounced insulin responses occur with milk. Now people are like, should we be concerned that could cause problems? Not in athletes, right? Not in people who have a heightened insulin sensitivity from exercise, from gaining muscle, from lifting weight. No, this is a positive thing. Post-exercise recovery.
Exercise, gaining muscle from lifting weights. Weights don't build muscles, bro. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Science proved that. I just told you weights don't build muscles, bro. But weights can damage muscles in the eccentric form. Definitely. So he has to stop lying about that. Endurance lifting burns muscles out. They don't build muscles. They burn them out.
How about even the muscle growth aspects? Again, a healthy insulin response to foods is absolutely critical.
Again, why isn't Blaha building muscles? He's lifting every single day in the gym. If a weight could build a muscle, why isn't he getting massively? He should be massively huge, like bigger than Ronnie Coleman. Why isn't he massive? Because endurance lifting doesn't build muscles, bro. He actually lost muscle and he got fat. He's still fat. All you guys think he's lean. He's still fat. You just can't see it. You don't understand. He's eating an artificial diet, so it's loading in his muscle as in the form of glycogen. He's holding excessive weight in there. It's in his muscle, it's everywhere. But even his skin, you can see it here on the front. He's still fat.
For muscle growth. Okay, so yeah. In this
the only muscle he's growing is his belly. That's about it.
Context, we need to understand milk is amazing. Milk is phenomenal. And for some people, you might need the lactose-free or the ultra-filtered. I do the ultra-filtered milks, Fairlife, Utopia, all those things, right? That's my jam. I consume those. I use those. They work great for me.
He does he? I thought he said they were junk products. In all his videos, he complained that animal products were junk products. And now he's revering them as being superfoods. Okay.
Yeah, they work great for me. It's not to say I don't ever use the others. I think other milks are good too. Right? Assuming you can handle the lactose. As long as you can handle the
Assuming you can handle lactose. There's no such thing as lactose. You would never have a lactose problem as a carnivore. Your problem is you keep eating these artificial foods which are damaging your gut.
Lactose, you're good. So,
It's a lie. It's just a marketing thing, lactose intolerance. You got a leaky gut, bro.
the point here is all those things are happening. But then what else? We get into all these other benefits. We get into the protein, the B12, all these things. All right, the
I
protein.
would definitely say milk has a benefit if you're damaging muscle fibers. If you're doing eccentric exercise and you want to get stronger, or even on the concentric, if you want to get stronger at going against gravity as an endurance athlete and you want to increase your endurance, being good at lifting these weights in the concentric form, then yeah, milk would definitely help you there. And it's going to definitely help people that are building muscle in the eccentric form, lifting. You understand me? Damage people who are actually damaging muscle fibers. And they're also going to get strong because eccentric loads, you can load heavier and heavier and heavier on the eccentric to increase more strength in your body. Plus, building muscle makes you stronger. If you've never built any muscle, how would you know what that would be like? Because concentric doesn't build muscles, bro, get it? And sarcoplasmic hypertrophy doesn't make you stronger. You understand me? It just makes you visually, makes you pretend look like intimidating because you got fatter.
It's a very big deal. And when we look at different studies, milk proteins tend to be fairly superior post-exercise for muscle protein synthesis. When often compared head-to-head with other proteins, they tend to produce a better response. And it makes sense due to the extremely high bioavailability score. Right, whey protein is crazy good, but all milk in general is like 20% whey anyways. 20% whey, 80% casein. So you're getting, significant amounts of whey even in normal milk. Now, obviously, whey protein is better, but don't we count that as dairy too?
Whey protein is a waste product. What are you talking about? Don't buy anything that's a waste product of something.
Right?
I'm not saying it's bad. You don't want waste products.
If we're going to talk about dairy and the benefits, we can talk about other things that are products of it if they're beneficial. Like I don't think butter, for example, falls in that category, in my opinion.
Him and this obsession with butter doesn't fall in that category. Butter is made from an animal product, so it's good too. Just like your stupid yogurt, dude. So if we're gonna make a comparison now,
a lot of people, but I think the data supports that. But stuff like whey protein, absolutely amazing. It's an absolutely superior protein source. Great.
Why would it? It's a processed source. It's processed from animal products. Isn't that shit too? Just like butter? See what I mean? Look at Blaha. He's really crazy.
Per gram, right? It's right up there, with egg whites. Like, these are your gold standards, okay?
Yeah, raw egg whites are amazing, but Blaha cooks his eggs. They're destroyed.
But yeah, milk proteins. Milk is an enormously great source of extremely bioavailable.
Can please anybody tell me the benefits of endurance exercise, like laboring endurance-ly, lifting this weight, being an endurance exercise? How does that equate to longevity? See, eccentric exercise, we know that it's associated with muscle damage, activating all these, hormones and the progenitor cells. It activates them, and then you go through a regeneration. Yes, regeneration. Plus, it'll elicit more strength because you could take more loads in the opposite force. Plus, you absorb energy, which actually would equate to longevity because you're not using up energy now. You're absorbing energy. Going with gravity, you'll absorb energy. With every bout, you absorb energy in the gym. You lose energy when you go against gravity. It's a known fact. See what I mean? It takes tremendous energy for a rocket to leave this planet, but it takes less energy for it to do what? To drop in the atmosphere and drop to the planet because of gravity. See what I mean? So if you're going on the way down with heavy loads, you're absorbing energy. See what I mean? That's not going to aid you. That's not going to aid you. What's going to aid you is when you go against gravity, consistently moving against gravity and not building any muscle and eating artificial diets to lift weights and expelling that energy. That's why you're going to the gym, because all of you are what? I know you're burning calories, right? Like Greg Doucette and all these fitness influencers, we're burning calories. We're going to the gym. We're burning calories. You're all going to the gym to burn calories every single day. Oh, lifting weights every day, going to the gym. Man, I've seen a guy go to work, construction work, and then he would come to the gym to lift weights. That's crazy, man. So he could lose more energy, so he can age himself. And he looks so old, bro. And he was falling apart. That's just insane. That's crazy, Borowski. That's crazy.
Protein, again, very, very well tied to muscle growth, recovery, even fat loss. Again, dairy intake tends to be heavy.
Yes, it's tied to recovery for your slave lifting, endurance lifting. Okay.
Correlated with fat loss, weight management, better body composition, okay? But the
Fat loss, you wouldn't have gotten fat if you didn't domesticate yourself eating artificial food to begin with. Bulk diets, trying to pretend you're building muscles, getting fat. It's a high nutrient. Animal products are high nutrients, so of course, the more nutrients you get, the less fat your body would carry because it sees you're not going through a famine, you're not starving. Duh.
protein is an enormous, absolutely enormous part of that. It's an enormous part of it.
Of course it is.
Because of the quality of the protein involved. But it's also these other factors because we know that things like the calcium and stuff
Of course it is.
impact that, right? Calcium, magnesium, right? These things are, again, also associated with muscle growth. They're associated with muscle performance, muscle recovery. Okay?
Yeah, it is, but he's not building any muscle because he's going in the opposite direction. He's going in the wrong direction, bro, for building muscles.
When you look at milk, it is extremely high in these things. It's a phenomenal source of them. It's very easy to get optimal intakes of all of these electrolytes, all these minerals directly
Oh, yeah, all these electrolytes, all these minerals. Yeah, sure.
from milk. You know, again, it grows baby cows, and a lot of that still applies to humans, the same factors that are involved, okay? Now, people will try to say, well, okay, that's all well and good if you're trying to get jacked and lean and ripped, but what about other health risks? Well, let's set aside the fact that getting jacked and lean and ripped actually improves your health. Okay.
Getting jacked and lean improves your health. You'd be jacked and lean as a carnivore to begin with. What would make you fat? Carnivore diet as a carnivore eating meat doesn't make you fat. And you'll look muscular and jacked anyways. See what I mean? You're out of something called homeostasis. This happens to boars. When they capture boars and put them on a farm, they domesticate them. That's what happened to these. That's what's happening to the entire civilization. They're domesticated. They're domesticated. They're fat. They're fat, walking around domesticated. They've lost their looks. They have no muscularity, low hormones, and then they're just a slave, full of energy, full of this garbage energy, going to work every day. That's what it does. It drives you to be a slave, a working slave.
Let's not discount that for a moment.
Oh yeah.
What? Yeah. I mean, if you get lean, what happens? All your inflammatory.
Look at Blaha. He's an endurance athlete. How many endurance athletes do you know that are building muscles, running down the street? Hey, how many marathon people? They're doing endurance too. They're recovering. They building muscles?
Markers improve, lipid profiles improve, fasting glucose improves. That's associated with losing fat. So let's not pretend losing body fat doesn't do that, along with improving inflammatory markers.
Yeah, that's all he's doing. He's inflaming his muscles, repeatedly lifting in the gym. That's why he looks puffy like that. It's the inflammation, bro. That isn't muscle growth you're looking at. That's inflammation, temporary, fake hypertrophy, inflammatory response.
Body fat almost always improves inflammatory markers because body fat.
Yeah, it's improving his inflammatory response markers. Yes, definitely. I would agree.
Inflammation. Same thing. Well, gaining muscle is beneficial to health. We have tons of data showing the improvements in insulin sensitivity.
Yes, it is beneficial to gaining muscle. Building muscle is beneficial to health. But guess what? You're not building any muscle. Wanna know why? Because look at what he's doing. Look what science says. I just posted this in my community section. You can check it. There's a link there too. There's a link there because I can't post everything, okay? Right here. There's a link right here. There's a link there, NCBI, whatever. So what does it tell you here? It tells you here. It says here, 10 days of eccentrically based treadmill running. Downhill running for a range of 15 to 35 minutes results in muscle growth. So eccentrically running down a hill, it what? Results in muscle growth as a significant addition of what? Serial sarcomeres was identified in some muscles. Wow. Now, what does he get doing concentric lifting? Whereas the concentrically biased exercise group uphill treadmill training was found to have lost serial sarcomeres. Ouch, that gotta hurt, eh? You actually lose muscles doing concentric exercises, make you lose muscles. This finding of differential sarcomere growth response to eccentric, i.e. increase in serial sarcomeres, and eccentric, i.e. decrease in serial sarcomeres. Wow. So Blaha is telling you that you're building muscles, bro. Get it? You're building muscles doing eccentric heavy lifts, broski. Every single day, 6 days a week in the gym, broski.
Lowering cancer rates, lowering diabetes rates, lowering cardiovascular risks just from gaining muscle. So that is kind of part of that. But let's come over and let's talk about the other stuff. We don't have associations with negative effects in these areas from these foods. This has been studied. Enormous meta-analysis have looked at cancer. Some dairies seem to reduce cancer rates of certain types, correlated with reduction. The only one that we ever saw positively correlated, which was the bad thing in this case, is whole milk intake with prostate cancer.
Whole milk intake with prostate cancer? He's lying to you, man. No, animal products don't cause you to have cancer. He's fucking full of shit.
So there you go. But it was still in the grand scheme.
This is just as bad as him trying to convince you that concentric lifting builds a muscle, bro. Where's his muscles? Body does the talking. And the body says, Aziro, get it? It also shows no health benefits. It doesn't make you attractive. It made him older and unattractive and 87 years old. Okay, dude? Forget this look. This is the ugliest look I've ever seen. And he's fat. He's getting puffy again because all that inflammation, him lifting every day here in the gym. Look at it. You can see it's an inflammatory response and his body's inflaming there. And look at his pumpkin head. It's aging like crazy because of the inflammatory response.
The thing is very, very minor. It was, a very, very tiny number of men still got it even if they drank the largest amounts of it. But it was correlated with an increase. But we saw multiple types of cancers that go down when a lot of dairy is
multiple kinds of cancers, bro. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Okay.
consumed, particularly when the yogurts and things are consumed. Right, the cultured dairies, they seem to be protective against these things. So again, there's no reason when you look at the medical literature or even the epidemiology to actually suspect.
Epidemiology aren't scientific studies, fool.
Large dairy intakes are associated with poor health markers or poor health outcomes.
So dairy products are associated with poor health outcomes, poor markers because of an epidemiology study, which is not scientific. Man, Blaha he's the dumbest person I know. He's trying to tell you has a high IQ. He fucked his reputation. A person with high IQ would never fuck their reputation. Me personally, I never claimed to have a high IQ. I'm just a human being, bro. I don't know anything. Bro. I have to go off my senses, my experiences, and my survival skills. Because I'm a human, I don't know anything. And if a human ever comes up to you and tells you that they know something, well, guess what? You better run in the opposite direction, dude. Like this guy. That's the reason why I do these reaction videos to get you thinking, bro. To get you thinking. You understand me? It's to help people. It's to help people out there. To break the shackles of this enslavement that you're in.
But we know it absolutely positively affects muscle growth, fat loss, recovery from exercise, hydration, all these things. This has been studied heavily in the lab. Dairy is a superfood. All right, guys.
First it's a superfood, then it's associated with poor health markers. Which one is it, Blaha? He's crazy, man. He's all over the place. Epidemiology is not a scientific study, okay? That's just bullshit.
That's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. And
Thank God, man. I'll see you in the next video, man. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. See you in the next video, friends. Ciao. Lifting slave.